Okay, greetings everyone. This is Intro to Criminal Justice. For those of you who are not in my class, I have a new class, two new classes at Dallas Baptist University. Classes I have are Intro to Criminal Justice and Crime in America this semester, which is fall 2025, and I'm getting ready for the first exam. And so one of my students in my other class thought it would be fun for me to do a review, even though I've done a review with them. To do the review on my channel. And I think that the byproduct, the benefit is for those of you that might want to come into an intro class, some of the notes that I go over today will definitely be beneficial for you. It was some things I definitely wanted to get ahead of the curve for my students to remember for this upcoming test. So some of these things, as I said, some of you will already know. Some of my new students won't. And of course, my books are open note. My tests are open book, open note, but still, a review is always good. Did you know that older adults are less likely to be victimized than people in any other age group? It's true. I believe it's true because older adults are a bit wiser. They don't expose themselves to certain risk. With regard to speeding tickets and other infractions, quite a few people don't understand that speeding tickets are considered criminal offenses. I think we had a good conversation on that today. Yeah, those are criminal offenses. Of course, some of my students don't think that they should be. And when you talk about public order crimes, which include offenses related to sexuality, prostitution, gambling, and pornography, this is considered crimes against morality. Yes, it's true. We consider those crimes against morality. Acts, whether violent or nonviolent, that society perceives as threats to a government and survival constitute political crimes. Yeah, that would be political crimes. Then we get into theories. So I'm going to give you one right now. A present day derivative of the classical and neoclassical schools of criminology, well, that's rational choice theory. Rational choice theory. And we can't forget organized crime, or about the subject of organized crime. Organized crime is an ongoing criminal conspiracy that profits from providing a list of goods and services. It uses or threatens violence to further its criminal enterprises and to maintain monopolistic control of specific markets. Organized crime. Did you know that crimes against public order often are called victimless crimes? And this is really because, unlike property crimes and crimes against persons, they usually have no identifiable victim. Remember, an insanity plea is put forward in less than 1% of all felony trials, and of those, only 25% succeed with a not guilty by reason of insanity verdict. Therefore, in 1,000 felony cases, only 10 defendants placed insanity, and of those, fewer than 3 succeed. I think that's good information to know. And then regarding self-report studies, it's very interesting to remember that self-report studies are an important source of information about offenders and their offenses. Yeah, some people do fill out self-report studies. Voluntary manslaughter, what can we say about that? Voluntary manslaughter occurs when an offender is provoked and loses control, killing his or her victim in what is known as the heat of passion. When a defendant is found not guilty by reason of insanity, NGRI, he is acquitted of the criminal charges against him and discharged from the criminal justice system. Bit of interesting trivia for you. Now, how about the guilty but mentally ill offense? It was introduced in 1975. It was intended as a compromise between acquitting a defendant who was mentally disordered, NGRI, and finding the person guilty. So NGRI, not guilty by reason of insanity, just so you know. Persons with high levels of both obtrusive and unobtrusive vulnerabilities are often victimized repeatedly and are known as recidivist victims. Recidivist victims. You know, some criminologists argue that for people to break the law, they must accept rationalizations that allow them to overcome feelings of responsibility. That's what is known as the neutralization theory. Let's now move to the consensus perspective. The consensus perspective of crime views laws as the product of social agreement or consensus about what criminal behavior is. You all are the lawmakers of the future, and it appears that views on different things, especially regarding what is criminal, are constantly changing. And that's the nature of things. All right, that's it. First review. Enjoy the rest of the week. Hope you enjoy that review, and looking forward to doing many more in the future.